Alright, welcome to a knowledge documentary special, and in this one should be an interesting documentary special, because I'm looking at the history of the serpent in mythology and culture. And this would be like a big topic in that because all the world's countries and cultures and mythologies and all that seem to like have a sort of serpent tail in them, right? And as you know, if you've been watching the last couple of videos I've done, the serpent is basically an metaphor for the syringe, right? So basically, it's talking about all the cultures and countries and history and all that stuff. It's basically all based around the discovery of the syringe, what they used for, obviously for making the trans program with, right? But as you see this, very interesting straight away type of stuff that this stuff here, right, as primates, right? Primatism is like monkey based, isn't it? Like that's based on the primitive idea. And they wonder, like, people call each other mates, like it's based on the primate idea, right? As you know, everything is like brainwashing and what have you, right? And but that's based on the theory of evolution thing, right? That we human beings evolved off of monkeys, right? Which obviously isn't the case. You know what I mean? But if you look at the that primate theory, right, is obviously based on this theory of evolution, right? Of course, the figuring is that man evolved from chimpanzee to become upright man. But of course, there's no evidence to suggest that whatsoever. In fact, we don't know what lying tea drinkers these are. So the actual evidence would suggest the opposite, right? And as we know, Hebrew goes from right to left, along with a few other languages and all that, right? Not all languages go from left to right like English, right? So you're talking about the theory of evolution, basically symbolizing upright man regressing backwards and becoming like a chimpanzee, right? That's what that here represents. So when you have that bullshit primate theory, right, you're talking about a lie straight off the bat, right? Quote in the name is anyway Lynn Isbell, East Bell in the lie, it's just total witchcraft idea straight away, right? But this is very interesting stuff to put in here. As primates, the serpent as a symbol of death is built into our unconscious minds because of evolutionary history, right? So again, you're talking about a bit of witchcraft and a bit of spellcraft stuff straight away, right? So they're basically viewing normal people or natural people as monkeys. And this sort of serpent idea, what they've created, is a symbol of fear and all this, right? A symbol of death. And like I say, as we all know, this serpent idea is representing a syringe. No doubt an actual snake was probably the inspiration for creating the actual apparatus of the syringe. They probably observed a little snake going about, that type of thing, right? And then from there, basically figured out, make something that'll inject tea liquid in the veins and that. Probably after sort of drinking it first, and then sort of going on to a more like a potent thing that would go straight in the veins type of thing. See what I mean? But as you can see, very interesting type of stuff when you factor in the between the lines, like, you know what I mean? Plenty of tea itch about. Of course, as well as that monkey, that fake monkey evolution stuff, right? This is also a part of fake evolution ideas, isn't it? And of course this is based on ideas about little snakes and lizards and that you've seen about. You know what I mean? And of course look how created all the different ones, like the horns, like Moses, you know. And that one, the little syringe type of, with the curly tail and that, they're all based on, again, the same type of thing, do you know what I mean? And there you go, this sort of, long spikes. Of course, yeah, these were basically, people like Ray Harryhausen and all that, done a lot of animations in the 50s and 60s and all that. And maybe 30s and 40s were doing it as well, like, obviously, like animations in movies to make, to sort of bring to life this idea about these. Of course, it's like a very scary idea type of thing, isn't it? Basically, again, and there's a little Moses one with the horns, Triceratops it's called, for the three, obviously, and then there's 7 on there, like, so you got the 3 horns and the 7. It says it all, like. Of course, yeah. I was talking about the other one in the other one, how obviously these snakes and that make a hissing noise, like this. And straight away you got here this SS, so it's been putting that in with it straight away, right? It's all part of the little game, right? But as you can see, serpents are crawling animal or snakes, so obviously the ideas of the large serpents and all that on actual size little snakes and that what crawl about. Obviously the biggest type of one you can get is about 12 foot or something, like an anaconda or a boa constrictor python something. But obviously the idea of a giant sized snake or like that type of creature, something that they've always used in culture, not like Godzilla, for example, and all that. So obviously, like, there isn't any actual sightings or evidence of like such a large size creature, you know what I mean? But they always use that as a, like it says in that thing, like a fear-based idea, to scare you in the mind and that. And of course they've done the Loch Ness monster, which is, obviously it works, like, you know what I mean? So there's no actual evidence of a large-sized, snake creature or serpent creature. So basically, we just take it that they've took the smaller ones and just blown them up in size, in order to, give the idea of danger and death. That's the whole purpose of it. As you see here, the symbol of the serpent is so prevalent in world mythology. See what I mean? Like obviously that first thing about the Adam and Eve and all that. And then every other type of thing going in that, you know what I mean? And there we see here the code put in, a symbol of initiation and rebirth. Via the trans idea, So representing like the death of the old self, right? And then the rebirth of the new self. So it's a total trans metaphor. Of course a snake sheds its own skin, see? So it basically gives birth to itself and renews itself every so often, see? Urfid, like Urvid, the storyteller and that, see? That's an interesting piece of code and all, right? So you have Urvid, right, who's like this sort of legendary storyteller in the history, right? Ars Amatoria, right? And he done a metamorphoses, which is obviously again another trans metaphor, right? And he was one of the first type of storytellers about telling great stories through his poems and that, right? But you have the Urvid being like the snake again, the Urfin and the Urvid, right? And obviously you have video like the video recorders and all that. Videos became, we still call it videos, don't it? Like for watching a video on YouTube or something, you're talking about the video idea, so it's to do with snake, right? You got a snake connection when you're, watching a video. See what I'm saying? So there's this big idea about the serpent idea, right, in everything, like, what we do, right? So think about that. Remember this serpent is supposed to be an symbol of fear to the monkey mind, right? So you see here, right, the snake shed their skin, causing their old skin to come off and be replaced with new skin. And replace skin 48 times a year, right? So they shed the external skin. And from that you get the name Skinner, right? The people are called Skinner. It's that they were shedding the skin. So in the, what do you call it, metaphor for trans. It's B.F. Skinner, and the behaviorist, Nigerius, and the Will I Am. So very good at like the sphere of the hell that his grandmother described. So again, this stuff all linking together. The fear of hell and the shedding the skin ideas and the, of course very much, to do with psychology and behaviorism, because, that's what it's all about, isn't it, from their perspective. Controlling people and brainwashing them and keeping them down and all. And then, of course, Frank Skinner and David Baddiel, who's always about operant conditioning. So Skinner was replaced in operant conditioning. Very interesting. So I'm going to be continuing this in another video, because this one's went quick.